Fundamental Management Accounting 83, question number 5. Explain the relevance of the following terms as used in management accounting. We have break-even analysis, responsibility center, batch costing. How are they relevant in management accounting? Let's start with the break-even analysis. We can say that break-even analysis is crucial in management accounting. This is crucial in management accounting, that helps the business, determine the point, at which revenue equals to the total cost, at which revenue equals to the total cost. This is relevant in decision making. Just a minute. This is relevant in decision making by providing insight into minimum level, minimum level of sales or productions, needed to avoid losses, The responsibility center, it is an organization unit. It is an organization unit headed by the manager. Headed by who? By the manager, who is responsible for activities. It is significant in the management accounting. As it aids in decentralizing decision making within the company. Decentralizing decision making. Just a minute. Decentralizing decision making within the company. Then lastly, Roman 3, batch costing. I will say that it's relevant in management accounting. This is relevant. in management accounting. Management accounting for business that produce goods, for business that produces goods in distinct batches. In distinct batches, rather than through a continuous process. Rather than through a continuous process. Those are the importance or the relevance of those three management accounting terms: break-even point, responsibility, and what we call batch costing. But B, we are told that analyze for limitations that a firm will encounter when operating a marginal costing system. For limitations, in other words, they are just asking for assumptions of marginal costing. Number one, we can say that it ignores fixed cost. It ignores fixed cost in its decision making. Meaning, when we are making decision, we only concentrate on the variable cost per unit. Number two, it is inappropriate for long-term planning. It is inappropriate for long-term planning. Then three, it is difficult separating variable. It is difficult in separating variable and fixed cost. Then four, we can say that it overemphasizes on volume. It overemphasizes on volume, like contribution margin. Focuses mostly on the profit rather than looking at the process in which this particular process of profit has been realized. But see, you're told that a DOC to a limited is a transport service company that runs 5 buses between 2 towns which are 50 kilometers apart. Seating capacity of each bus is 50 passengers, and the following particulars are obtained from the book of the company for the month of March 2023. We have the fixed cost, then we have the variable cost. Fixed cost and the variable cost. Now we are told we have the wages of drivers and conductors, salaries of office staff, diesel and other oils, repair, maintenance, taxations of insurance, depreciations, interest expense on loan. Total cost is given there. Actual passengers are 75% of seating capacity. On all buses operate on 30 days of the month, and each bus made 1 round trip per day. Then we are told calculate the cost per passenger per kilometer per day. Calculate the cost per passenger per kilometer per day. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with that? Now we can determine the total cost. The total cost of these particular buses. We can have total cost is given us. Total cost is usually given as the total variable cost being added to the total fixed cost. And the total fixed cost here we have been given that is 72,000. Remember we are carrying 3 zeros, so 72 million plus 67,000, which is 67 million. When you add 72 plus 67, we have 139 million. Just add those 3 zeros, 139 million. Then the passenger per kilometer. Calculate the cost of passenger per kilometer. We want to determine all those particular costs that were incurred. How do we apportion to each passengers that were being ferried by this particular bus? We can say now, therefore, the passenger per kilometer is equal to, we have seating capacity of this particular bus. We multiply by the distance. Remember it was 50 kilometers apart distance. Multiply by the rate of seating capacity, that is percentage of seating capacity, which was 75. Also we are multiplying by what? Number of operating days. Number of operating days. Therefore, we are going to have the seating capacity of the bus were what? We had 50. Multiplied by the distance, 50 kilometers. We are told another thing. 50 kilometers seating capacity of each bus is 50. And the following train hotel, okay, you multiply by 50, multiply by 0.75. That's the capacity of those particular bus. We multiply by the number of operations per month. We had 30 days. If you multiply what you get, you have 50 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.75 multiplied by 30. We have something like 28,125,500. That is the cost that this particular individual incurred per. Therefore, now to determine the cost per passenger, cost per passenger, we are going to have the total cost. We divide by the passenger per kilometer. Passenger per kilometer, which in this case we are taking 139 million. We are dividing by 28,125,500. 139 million divided by the answer, we have 49. That is equal to Kenya shillings 49.42 per passenger. That's what they need, or they needed to do that to get your 6 marks. As long as you can separate the variable cost, fixed cost you add together, we get the total cost. And then we can determine the cost per kilometer, the passenger per kilometer, whereby we took this particular 50 multiplied by 50, but the rate capacity, the seating capacity, I told that the passengers, those who are filling is 75 of the seating capacity. Now I'm taking 75 off that so that we can see how many were there in that particular bus. We multiply by the number of operating. It was 30 days. When we do that, we get the total cost. And then we can establish we zero down to the cost per one passenger per kilometer per day. That is 49.42 shillings.